one of my colleagues who I've been working with forever since the Awkward Black Girl. We were just doing like an interview together, and he called me particular, and I was like, "What? I'm particular?" And he was like, yes, you're extremely particular. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "That's kind of a compliment." Just try is so important. That's unique to me.
Beautiful melanin goddess that's before me. Hello. On this episode of Another Act, I'm talking with producer, actor, and writer Issa Rae on what's coming in this final season of Insecure, on providing a blueprint, and on her next new series coming sometime next year. Issa, we are finally here in the final season of Insecure. Tell me about what this moment feels like for you right now.
It's incredibly special. Like, I'm basking in the support and the love and the anticipation and really choosing to live in that space before everybody's mad at me again.
I've seen a couple episodes. I can't wait for the Twitter fights. That's all I'm saying. But was it really hard for you to decide that this is going to be the last season, or what made you know that this was the time to walk away from the show?
Oh yeah, I knew from season 1 that I wanted to do a 5-season show, and that I wanted the characters to go on a specific journey, and they're living that out this season. But 5 seasons always felt like a sweet spot, and in thinking about like creatively telling a finite story that's satisfying, that was for me a priority. And also just thinking off screen, like asking actors to be a part of something for beyond 5 years is really pushing it. And I want to like the people that I work with, and I want the people that I work with to like me. And so that's exactly what happened. We all love each other. We're walking away. We're all doing different things post this. And I hope I can say that we're all proud of what we've made together.
Issa? Is that me? Oh shit, throwback me? This new look is working for us. Do you like this? And we got our braces off. Let me see them teeth. Let me see them teeth. Let me see them teeth. Show me how you eat.
You know, we have to talk about the work that you've done, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera, because you're really a trailblazer for not only blueprinting how great YouTube content creators can transition into Hollywood and linear TV, but you really have showed everyone how to chart your own path. How do you process that?
I love that I can be a blueprint or example for some people of a path that they can take or a path not to take. You know, I think any way that I can be a beacon for people to chart their own path, I'm proud of that. I love that there's like a mythology around, you know, my my own professional journey. I think that that's kind of cool. There's so much more to it, and I just hope that I can make it easier for people who come alongside me, after me, wherever.
Yeah. You know, sometimes we see things coming for us and sometimes we don't. When you kind of go back to the beginning of coming out of Awkward Black Girl into the, you know, in business with HBO, did you manifest this, or is this caught you off guard? You know, just all the success and really the love I think that you've gotten from creating something that we don't get to see on television a lot.
Ooh, both. I think I manifested it, but I did not know what to expect in that manifestation. I think you know, I wanted some form of this, but this is beyond what I expected. I would have never thought that this version of me existed. And I'm very proud of this version of me. This show enabled this version of me. It instilled a confidence in me, a different kind of confidence in me that I didn't know I had. So I'm so thankful that I didn't dream as big as I did.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't expect this. You know, I think I didn't imagine what was possible for me. I dreamt something very specific and would have been satisfied with that, and this is even better.
How long did it take for you and Ted to get back? We were fake back before we were back. Child, the jokes I laughed at that weren't even funny.
She was parched, like a shriveled up prune.
Prune. It's a lifelong journey, girl.
Did your ambitions change along your journey because doors are starting to open up? If so, tell me in what ways that changed and how you pivoted because of that.
Yeah, my ambitions became greater because I saw what was possible. Once you achieve something, you're just like, yes, to your point, other doors open, but you're also like, but that door is not open and there's a way that I can get in there. And nobody's even paying attention to that door. So like, how can I make my own key for that? And that's kind of how I'm thinking. I'm just like, what imprint can I have? What mark can I leave that's unique to me? Because I don't want to do what everyone else has done. I want to make my own stamp. And even thinking like that, that's the way that I've always wanted to be original in my own way. It feels special and different.
Yeah. I think you created art that, pictorializes Black millennials in South Los Angeles, obviously something that's important to you. Why was that so important for you?
It's my area. It's where I grew up. Again, to the representation, like seeing my neighborhood not reflected in a way that I know it to be bothers me. Mm-hmm. Seeing LA constantly get a bad rap for what it is and what it's not also affected me. And I wanted to show off my city and to be able to work with Melina, who is just a visual genius. She just over delivered in terms of making this part of LA look so beautiful and aspirational. And that's what it looks like and feels like to me. She just perfectly.
Yeah. Well, you're amazing too. When did you realize that this was as big as it is? When did you realize that Insecure wasn't just for, the audience that you met and developed and helped kind of make content for with Awkward Black Girl, and when it became a bigger thing? Like, what was that moment for you?
It's two for me. It's the season 1 finale. Okay. Like, I always describe that feeling of logging on the next day on Twitter and not even searching the hashtag, not doing anything but just going to my homepage and seeing people talk about Issa and Lawrence, these characters, like just all down my timeline. I'm like, what? People are just talking about it and they're taking it, these characters, they're mad about it and they're internalizing this situation.
Patty cake, get your man.
Everything's out of my control. You never lived. I don't control where I go. No, I don't want to take you and your friends to Palm Springs. It's Tuesday.
Have you had something to eat today?
No.
The second was, this past season is just, in announcing our end and having people share memories about where they were when the show started versus where they are now, and how they've grown with these characters. That really resonated with me in terms of it feeling like, wow, this show will stick with people, and we've created something that hopefully will be embedded in people's memories for years to come.
Absolutely. And in some ways, I don't even know if just kind of your average viewing audience even understands how important what they are seeing from Insecure will stay with them. For example, you have given a lot of creatives their first time directing too. Some of them are marquee names even, and they really have gotten their start on your show. And that feels really important to me. Tell me about why that was important for you to, make sure that people like Jay Ellis had a shot at directing, Kerry Washington, so on and so forth.
Oh man, that's so interesting and true. Like, I guess, well, one, I mean, Kerry Washington wanting to direct your show is like, what? Seeing her shadow that second season finale we were all like super excited. And then it's one thing to have her want to direct it. It's another thing for her to be one of the best directors to direct your show, Yeah. So in that way, we were rewarded for taking a chance on someone. It's a happy chance. And with Jay, he has an eye. Watching him just be a talent, watching him think about all these other things, just in the forms of questions, asking questions to me on the show, asking questions to Prentice. Like, that's what was like, oh, have you ever thought about directing? And him being like, I mean, I'd love to. And then really taking it seriously and delivering there. But it just comes from wanting someone to take a chance on me and knowing the work that I would put in to live up to that chance, I assume the same for everyone else. And so to me, it's nothing to give a chance. And for the most part, I've always been rewarded in taking those chances. It's only made the show better or whatever project it is better. But to foster an environment where people can just try is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. At what point were you in your career where you felt power, where you felt like you were being listened to for the first time? What was happening around you at that moment?
I mean, really just my own show. I mean, the first time that it was more like realizing like, oh, I have to speak up. Yeah. Otherwise, like, what am I doing? But the first moment came even for the title of Insecure and talking to the president who didn't like the title at the time. And he was just like, I don't see insecure women when I watch this pilot. I see flawless, I see fierce women. And I was just like, that's the problem, but that's not all that we are. And once I explained that to him, he's a white man, he got it. He was just like, all right, then I love that explanation. And I was like, oh man, yes. So you got to keep fighting for like what you think and what you believe in. And that process, the process of creating Insecure and making the show happen has only made my voice more clear and stronger. And I'm noticing it even in doing this next show. It's just like, oh, I have a clear point of view and I have my own taste. And that is particular. One of my colleagues who I've been working with forever since the Awkward Black Girl, we were just doing like an interview together and he called me particular. And I was like, what? I'm particular? And he was like, yes, you're extremely particular. What are you talking about? And I was like, that's kind of a compliment because sometimes I feel wayward. And he meant it as just like, you're specific and it's good to be specific. But, when I think about people who are particular, they are some of my favorite artists because they have a very specific style and a distinct taste. And I take pride in being particular.
I love that. Before I let you go, because you mentioned it, I'm gonna congratulate you formally on Rap Shit. I think that's how I'm supposed to pronounce it.
Rap Shit, yes.
Okay, all right.
How long we'll get away with that? But yes.
Listen, what can we expect from that? My favorite part of the day has been logging in and seeing your IG stories, whatever glimpses you've been giving us of filming that. But what is that like for you? You're going outside of South LA for the first time, actually, with regards to your relationship with HBO. But what can you tell us about that, and when can we get it?
I'm so excited. It's such a fun show. It's such a unique show. And the cast is killing it. It's extremely authentic. I would have never thought that I'd be in Miami. I really didn't think things through and making a show that was set away from my home because I'm away from my home. So I got to figure out how to get these characters to LA. But until then, like we're working it out, and it's just been an incredible experience. And hopefully you'll see it early next year.
I can't wait. I already know how they're going to get to LA. They can perform at like SoFi in Inglewood. And then all of a sudden we're back in South LA. See what I'm saying?
Okay. I like the way you think.
Let's put it out there.
Write that down immediately. They need to get a residency at SoFi at this point though. I need more. So
let's do it. And then, much like with Insecure, are you walking into this knowing what you want your end to be and how long you think this series can go to?
How long, but not knowing what I want my ending to be yet. But yes, how long? I've already floated it to our showrunner and she was like, okay, I see that. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're about to whet our appetites again, I know, but until then, Insecure is out on HBO. Thank you so much, Issa Rae. It is always great to talk to you.
It's great to talk to you, Kelly. Thank you for having me.